everybody. Welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce, and we're continuing with our conversations this morning. Right now, we want to dive into looking at our viewpoint discussion, which is on money and politics, but also some of the current affair issues that are going on, and that the biggest stories that we can expect to see this week. Okay, so for one, to begin with, today, KCSE examinations begin. Form 4 candidates will be sitting their exams. A total of 699,745 candidates are expected to take the test, and that's up from 664,585 last year. KNEC acting CEO Masi Karongo said some 70,790 personnel will be used during the field administration of this year's KCSE examinations. And NUT Secretary General Wilson Sossion urged the government to beef up security and ensure there are no malpractices. Now, my guest in studio with me today is Felix Anditi, who's an independent candidate in the upcoming Kibra MP election. Karibu sana to the show.
Asante.
And, KCSE, huge examination.
Yeah.
A lot of these candidates right now are going to be voters, in the next election.
True.
So, when cheating and malpractice has been such a common practice in our examination, are you at all confident about the sort of generation of future voters that we're raising? Hopefully that's something that we will not be seeing as many stories of this year.
Yeah.
But do you think enough has been put in place to address that?
First and foremost, to wish all that are doing their exams, we wish them success, safety, and everything, together with those who are administering those exams, the security, the teachers, the staff in schools, and everyone. And unfortunately, sometimes the integrity issue starts in schools. Yeah, and we know of late the government has been trying so much to put measures in place. And not only in Kenya, I think the last time India was putting boxes. So at least
on the students' heads.
Yes, this time round, even of course, even scary bundukis are there, and personnel go there.
That's appropriate.
It is too much. It is too much too soon. Those people needed to be prepared and all that. But we hope for the best.
Okay. Yeah, we're certainly wishing all our KCSE candidates the absolute best. And if you want to send out some shout outs and some well wishes to them, you can do that on 22999. Now, looking at the big stories this weekend, I'm going to get to one of them, which I know you're very closely linked to at this point. But if I could turn our attention then to the Standard. On page 36 of the Standard was a very interesting story about Kenya ruling again the world and dominating the world as far as marathons. Of course, as many of you saw, Kamworor and Jep Koskei ran again with big titles. Do you think at this point now the world is just fed up of Kenyans like winning all these marathons? It was only a week or two ago that again we took the Chicago Marathon.
Actually, we thank God. We thank God for the talents in Kenya. And the world has known that Kenya is a place of talents in terms of sports. Actually, best footballers come here, best athletes come here, even innovators come here. And that's why we see every investor want to associate with Kenya.
Right.
So the world has recognized, and they have left the field of athletes, to be specific, to Kenya. Na kama itakuwa siku yenye Mkenya atashinda, I'm sure that will be breaking news now to IFF and all other international bodies of athletics.
So dunia watuache tu tujiringe, right?
Watuache tujibambe.
Tujibambe tu, taking up all these titles. I love it. And congratulations, of course, to all our athletes.
And also, Eliud Kipchoge did well to go
did.
and even receive the team. It shows mentorship.
It does.
Not empowering those young talents and seeing that they even get to greater heights. And I'm sure one of those people will break even the record that Eliud Kipchoge would.
Now we just need to hope that the world starts seeing us for, in addition to athletics, that we're not also known for corruption and all these other things. So it would be nice to have that narrative change as well. Now, let's talk about the weekend, okay? So this is a huge week in politics,
Oh,
especially
yes.
in Kibra. It has what,
118.
118,000 voters,
Yes.
which is very significant.
Yeah.
So it's a massive week. 7th of November, this is going to be happening, the election in Kibra for the MP. And one person that was spectacularly trending this weekend in relation to this is one Anne Waiguru, who was in Kibra driving a vote initiative. Why are you laughing so hard, Felix? She was in Kibra driving a vote initiative on behalf of Central Kenya. Quite interesting, the information's emerging ahead of this by-election and the BBI report launch. Now, many of you would remember that Ms. Waiguru and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga at one point were never
loggerheads, yes.
seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
It's true, this thing that in politics there are no
Yes.
permanent enemies.
Yeah, because their interests. You know, number one, the politics in Kenya is about interest. And the interest, unfortunately, is not the people. The interest is the leaders. So the people with the same interest, when they come together, it is just drama. So it doesn't matter the enmity that they have. So those are just people that are thinking the same.
Right.
Yeah, so you can equate all those people because we are in times of change, and some leaders that we've been looking up to bring this change, for this transformation for us. It is clear that now you can see who is not for transformation, who is for the same system, who is for the same forces that are making Kenya to be where it is. And we really want something different. Kenya is still crying for something different.
I would agree with you.
Yes.
It's just it's very interesting that here, hopefully we can get this on your screens. It's Peter Kariuki on Twitter, posted this photo saying, someone thinks Anne Waiguru can add any single vote to Imran. It's a big fat lie. But look at this photograph, you guys. Hopefully this is going to be on your screens very shortly. This photograph showing them looking very cozy, very friendly.
Yes.
Do we have it up? There we go. Look at that picture. They look like they're best buddies. Very interesting to me that, there's no permanency, it seems, with these political allegiances in Kenya, which to me is part of the problem, that we don't have those political values. Like today you're here, tomorrow you're there.
Yeah, very true.
People don't stand and it's not a culture or a vision that they're trying to project. It is where can I get in? There's a penya na wapi, right?
Where can I get mileage and all that?
Yeah.
It is so unfortunate. It is so unfortunate because you cannot, you need to be a man of stand, a person of stand.
Anyway, maybe Felix, we should also say it's good for people to forgive one another and become friends.
Yeah, that one is perfectly well portrayed. In politics, I think the only lesson we can learn is it's good to have friends and forgive and that reconciliation.
Yeah.
And that's why I still say that I regret. That was the mandate of Handshake. Handshake was to do reconciliation. Handshake was to do peace rallies and unity, to unite the nation and tell the nation that, hey, where we have come from, we don't want to go there. But you see now another agenda that was brought was different. And that's why people are having different opinions concerning the fate of the handshake and maybe the BBI and all that.
Right.
So if they could translate that, we could have that to Kenyans, uniting Kenyans, even churches funded for Thanksgiving rallies and just letting Kenyans know that for once, we are a family and let's move together. So when it came and now interest, so people are aligning themselves with interest. You're either with these people or with that people. Some people are with now Baba, supporting Brand, some people supporting Jubilee candidate, others independent candidates, others their own parties. So we see the division that we have been trying to put aside is still coming. And that's why some people are very bitter. And we will see the better part of it when the BBI report comes and possibly when the referendum is coming. So that division that we've been running from is still coming back.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of hope.
Okay.
Yes.
Just some more tweets on Waiguru on Twitter. Could she be the new Mount Kenya political kingpin after President Uhuru Kenyatta retires from politics in 2020? That's a question that's being posed there on Twitter. And another comment here that I saw is Waiguru. Look at this photo again. Hopefully we can get this back up on your screens, guys. But is Waiguru practicing to be a handshake partner from central Kenya, or is she just loved in Kibra? It's like there'll be another handshake in 2022. My goodness. You think it's just political mileage?
It's political mileage.
Well, you know what, Felix, as we get ready to go on break in a few moments here,
Yes.
this is where you're campaigning as well,
Yes.
right? You're also
Yes.
running for this seat
Yes.
as an independent party candidate.
Yes.
And, how are you feeling right now? It's just a few days to go.
I don't know. I'm feeling so confident.
Yeah?
Yesterday we were doing rounds in churches, and I can tell you, the people of Kibra still are undecided because they are longing for their issues to be addressed, and they are cocksure that some of these leaders will not address their issues.
Right.
Their worry is, like what most of them keep telling me, Felix, keep working hard. We want you to win.
What would be some of the things that you would do? What does Kibra need the most, in your opinion?
What Kibra needs the most, the roads there that we need to do. We have sewer lines there that we need to mend. We have our youth there that we need to have a tertiary college for. And we need to have programs for economic empowerment for. We have our watu wa biashara wale wetu pale. They need empowerment. There's a lot of things that we need to do in Kibra,
right,
and that I commit myself to do. And that is why my agenda is Auma, Amani, Umoja, Maendeleo. And we also need, like Kibra, God has blessed us, we have all tribes are there. People from different stature, kila mtu tuko pale. And that is why number one, kiongozi ambaye anakuja lazima alete hao wote pamoja.
Okay.
Hii ukabila utoke. Yeah. Right now, ukiangalia, and you people in the media, you know this thing, everyone is campaigning on their tribal lines.
Sure.
Unaona, huyu ana favor tribe yake. Meaning, what we are trying to come out of, hiyo ukabila unarudi bado. And me would want to put aside hiyo ukabila, kwa sababu generation yetu, we are brought up with different people from different tribes.
Yeah.
We know our friends and colleagues. And unity. In that CDF, we have inclusive leadership in that committee, so that when there are opportunities, everybody gets equal opportunities.
Right.
And for as Kibra and even other slums like Madare and all that, we get equal share of development from the county government and from the national government.
Right.
So what Kibra needs is not just someone, a handman that will work for this big people project,
yeah,
but a kiongozi who will address the nitty-gritties there. Because even me as a candidate or as a leader, I get text, Mheshimiwa, leo nimelala njaa. Tuko na mgonjwa. So tuchaguliwe, tusipochaguliwa, bado tuna solve issues za kwetu, but of course at a smaller scale.
All right. I hear you, Felix. I really
Yes.
do. And we have to take a break though, but when we come back, we're still going to continue with Felix as we talk about money and politics. Okay, so bringing this outside of just
very
Kibra.
huge issue, eh?
Yeah, outside of Kibra though, just overall in this country, money and politics is what we're going to be focusing on with my guest here, Felix Nditi. Stay tuned. This is Full Circle with Joyce. I'll be back shortly. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us again on Full Circle with Joyce. I'm here with my guest, Felix Nditi, who's an independent candidate for the Kibra MP seat. And we were just looking at some current affairs, but now we want to dive into our main discussion and our viewpoint segment, which today is on money and politics. right? And so the relationship between money, big money, and politics is worth considering in Kenya. And I know it happens everywhere else in the world. You know, even in the US governments, they have people who sort of fund and sponsor their campaigns. But in Kenya, it just seems to be at the extreme of the spectrum, right? So does money rule? Because we hear, you know, when people, they'll support your campaign, and then there's certain interests that they want to see provided and brought to light. So does money rule, or is it the person that we've chosen or hope to have chosen? Are they actually leading or are they just politicking and trying to serve the interest of whoever provided the money for them to run their campaign? So money and politics in Kenya, huge discussion. That said, politics needs money, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
It
does.
needs a lot of it.
It does.
Tell me about it, Felix.
Thank you. Money and politics is a huge issue.
Yeah.
And I will start it this way. It was not supposed to be money and politics. It was supposed to be politics and economy. Because economy is about money. Politics is supposed to coming up with policies and regulations and guidelines and strategies that will enrich the economy of a nation, the economy of a place, and of everyone, the GDP of a nation. Like in Kenya, our economy is dwindling. So, but we have changed it the other way, the other side up, that now money and politics means how much money I get when I am in politics. And that determines how much money I use money to get money. So campaigns are becoming very expensive because the more money they use, the more money they get. It still comes back to personal interest. And you see, this money, an individual does not have them. The sponsors that come in, they say that politics is a way of getting money from sponsors and votes from the poor, and you promise to protect all of them from the other.
Right.
So as many people come to support you, they come with their interest and they come with their monies.
Yeah.
So these monies, we will use them to do campaigns. After the campaigns, we will serve the interest of these people, including getting money for ourselves.
Right.
And we are forgetting that we need to work for everybody, a bigger population that did not even give you a shilling. So,
yeah. And there's actually an old saying that says, "He who controls the country's wealth controls its politics." Is there any truth behind that?
That is a perception. It ought not to be so. Unfortunately, it is so. Because a nation is like a family. You know, and we cannot judge a family by how much money we have. Unfortunately, that's what happens.
Right.
Even in meetings, family meetings, the people who have say are the people with a lot of money. It ought not to be so.
Right.
So it's an assumption that he who controls the wealth of a nation controls the politics and their power. It should not be so, because especially for a developing country, for an established country, it would be a fight of who is who. That's okay. But for a development country, of whose priorities are the health of the citizens. Are you getting that? The education, the literacy levels of the citizens, the security of the citizens, not the prestige of a few. Like we see in the West there. You see Putin doing his things, Trump doing his things, the Eastern people doing their things, because they want to see who is who in the world. So when we come to a developing country, there are better priorities than money. And that's why our leaders have missed it big time when they think that politics is about money and money is about politics. And I wish we were able to find a way to eliminate the big monies in politics right now, especially in Kenya and African nations, because we are still getting colonized this way. These big monies come from outside. And that's why for you to be a president in this nation and in African nation, in the developing nation, you need to get endorsements from UN, from European Union.
Are you saying they get money from those organizations?
Absolutely. From those nations.
Is that something you can verify?
Absolutely. That is in black and white. Somebody would be sponsored by China, somebody would be sponsored by US, somebody is sponsored by someone else. And when those people pump in their monies, their resources, the interest of the people, of these politicians, number one will be to them. So that's why you find the economy of Kenya is not even in the hands of Kenyans. It's not.
So how do we get ourselves out of this? How does a small guy, the underdog, how does he come out in this race? How does he come up on top? Because as we are seeing guzzlers, tunaona hizo magari kubwa, zimepakwa rangi poa, they are setting up huge event venues, right? They are bringing on, it's like a concert, Mara, it's a campaign. How does the small guy, how does the not the small guy, let's call him the underdog. How does he shine? How does he come out when he doesn't have all these organizations behind him and he doesn't have, rich billionaire friends?
I think that's where God comes in also. Because now we need leaders, politicians who are leaders, who know what it is means to serve the people.
Talk to me about that. You're making a very strong distinction between politicians and leaders.
Yes, because being a politics is just a way of serving people. Is a way of serving people. But now leadership is the thing. You cannot be, if you're a politician and you're not a leader, you're a mess. But if you're a leader, a politician who's a leader, you will bring things to place. Like, for example, what you're saying, what it needs a leader with a strong vision and a strong purpose. And things are changing. The population must be tired. And people have realized that these big things, the guzzlers and the monies and all that, does not help them.
Right.
And I can attest, because I am doing campaigns in Kibra. When you go down there, those people ask you, how will you help us? When you give them satisfactory answer, they sincerely promise you their vote. So as much as those things are there, it is like this flashy lifestyle, which is not like, for example, kama unakatia dem, unaona? Unaenda na vitu, umehaya gari, vitu ka hizo, hata loan, umepeleka coast na ndege. By the time unampeleka pengine kuishi pale Kibera, sata kuacha. So the marriage that will last, ni ile umemleta, umembaye kama ni chai ile kahawa mnazoea, amekujua and all that. So she's taking you for who you are. And Kenya is reaching that. That's why we find leaders that are being elected with no background, with no fame, with no resources. So there is hope. Because the electorate are getting wise. They know what they want. The money they will eat because they want it. And that
but they know for themselves.
Yes,
what they
but
want.
they know what they want. If they don't get it, they will still be longing for it. And that's why if you look around, some of these things, and I'll be open to say this, handshake was good, but not everybody embraced handshake. Bibi, I know there's good intention. Not everybody embracing it. So what does people want? There is something that Kenyans want. And that thing, whether, some ladies are not married because the right man has not come. Others may come, and of course they may date. Does not mean they will fall with this person. Yes. And that's why now we need to keep urging that the leaders, people with this burden, to take this nation to another level, should not just make noise, but also, fold their sleeves and do activities. Even organizations, we don't need to swim the ways of these people, because organizations also get funded, so that whatever activities they do, they narrow down to the interest of the big fishes. But we need to have accountable organizations, accountable media stations, accountable leaders that will choose to be judged by how much they have served the people. And serving people is serving God.
All right, Felix, I hear you. Accountability, absolutely key. And you're saying we need to focus on leadership and not just politics.
Very true.
Right, and so with that said, then there is hope for a new crop of voters in Kenya that are tired of what the status quo has been.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Kamau Gitari wa Tumaini on Facebook, you say siasa za Kenya bila pesa ni kama gurudumu la gari bila pumzi. Ni ngumu sana kufaulu. But as we hear, this story is changing. And you're right, there are examples of people who've literally come out of
Very
nowhere.
True. Very true.
and taking the seat. Ruthie Nzula says, my friend Felix, I wish you well.
Thank
And,
you.
as you were speaking of marriage, I was chuckling because Mary Shicks here on Facebook. I feel like you need to show people your wedding ring.
It's it's
Mary Shicks. Mary Shicks is like, tell him ajipe nguvu, akiluza nitafute niko single. Walalalalala, dada. The guy is very married. But thank you, Felix, for coming through. All the best to you this week particularly, and we do appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Asante.